So smile and be ready. I have to mute this though. So smile and be ready. I have to mute this though. All right, all right. So we are live. Want to thank you guys so much for joining us on YouTube. This is our weekly call where we are passionate about helping business owners to work on personal development and share strategies and tips on how they can show up and show up strong in the marketplace. So I am going to share my screen. We've got a couple of announcements, and this is really impromptu. I am one who believes that in the value of connecting with people, but also doing it in a way that we are all able to shine. And when we are doing things here live and in person, it's important for us to be able to find ways that we can strategize together and help each other to build in a way that's really organic. And as you can see, I am trying to open up my slides, and I don't know why. You just got to love technology. It is just giving me some challenges, but there is more than one way to skin a cat. And this is the value of being live. So I'm just going to actually go into my Canva slides because there's still another way that we can do this. Um, but there's no time like the present. And, right now it's a time where, for me, my kids are getting ready to go back to school tomorrow. So it's summertime, and we believe in personal development. It's something that we do every week, but things come up. And so we have Kelly, who is going to be our guest for today. And so we're really excited for her to come and share her insights. For our mastermind, because we believe that it is important for us to show up and show up strong in the things that we do. So I first want to make sure everybody can see my screen. Can you see the screen? All right. So this makes it really feel like we're at home, right? Like we're definitely intimate, more personal. So again, I had a certain slideshow, but we're just, hey, when things go awry, you just keep it moving. So I want to start out with some announcements and some things that we have going on. So a little background about our mastermind. Our mastermind is called Real Connections, and we meet every week for an hour for us to go over strategies and personal development things that we can do within our business. I have found that this has been a game changer for me with taking that intentional time in order for me to grow my brand. A lot of times we can get so lost in the weeds on a daily basis with the things that we need to do for our family, for friends, and just in the marketplace, even just keeping up with our industry. Um, and I am the mother of 15 children. So if you hear any background noise, be forewarned that those are my coworkers. That's what I call them because they make life interesting. I have to learn how to grow and navigate through the challenges. And I have 9 daughters, and that it sounds like they're getting into some kind of argument about something. Okay. So just be forewarned, okay? So if they come in here, it doesn't even matter if mom's on live, they're just like, this issue is what they have. And so they're used to everything being out for other people to hear because I talk about them all the time, right? All right. So the first announcement is around our Christmas holiday campaign. I've done this for a few years now where we kick this off with Christmas in July that we have on July 25th. And it is an opportunity for us to start thinking and strategizing around the holiday season. And so, as of today, for those of us that are in the United States, we have 147 days until Christmas. Okay. And so, it's a great opportunity for you to start off strong with your presence on social media as it relates to the Christmas season. Now, you don't have to have everything planned and mapped out. However, what I like to do is plant seeds and stay in front of my audience so that when they think about the holidays and as they continue to approach um, even more closer, that they will have a mindset of remembering, hey, she brought this up about Christmas. Let me check and see what she's doing, right? So that I can start building my campaign. So it's really kind of an awkward time for many people because, for me, it's back to school. But if we're able to plant these seeds now, it allows us to create a strategy and a runway leading up into, in this case, for the campaign we're running through Cyber Monday. So if you are like, hey, I don't want to be where I was last year, stressed out, trying to figure out how I was going to strategize my business with clients or family or friends, then we invite you to join our Christmas campaign where it's a one-time fee, but we work bi-weekly to strategize on different things. And we also host events once a month around a theme for the holidays that's open to the public. Then we also have Get Branded. Get Branded is a jump start that we have for a lot of people who are going through the year and they're feeling like they're not quite on point for some of their goals. It's halfway through the year and they've reflected and some of the things they had listed that they want to accomplish, they haven't quite accomplished yet. And so we offer the jump start for them as well. Then I have a back to school business basics course that runs 6 weeks, and that also is going to start in August. So if you're dealing with some of these issues of fear, not quite clear on your vision, you want to build a community, you're having problems with lead generation, follow up, these are some of the things that we're going to be taking a deeper dive into leading up into the end of 2025. Also want to announce that I have a new show that is going to be live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And it's a weekly show taking the journey to Go Shop America. So Go Shop America is an online shopping channel that will be launching in October on the Zandra TV network, Got One TV network, and other places. We are taking you behind the scenes a little bit on the journey of what it takes to be a vendor, just creating the foundation. We just had a casting call last weekend, so just kind of helping you understand the ins and outs behind the scenes of that. This is a new channel that allows small business owners who don't have large numbers of inventory, but allows them to get in front of a different audience in an affordable way through online shopping. And we're going to be discussing a little bit around what Gary Vee is predicting. He's predicting that online shopping is going to be the biggest craze here as we approach the end of 2025, with people being on their phones and easily accessible to be able to shop online. And so we're going to dive into that conversation on Monday. We also have another show that is Meet Me in the Boardroom. In this show, we will be having a informational next Thursday around kingdom business principles. We're talking about why we started the show, which is about business owners really learning how to navigate through the industries that they're in with a biblical foundation, with some principles that have stood the test of time, but navigating through, how to avoid compromising, knowing who you collaborate with, This show is going to be an hour for each episode, and it will be premiering September the 13th. So we have an informational about that. So I am going to pause on some other things that I am going to discuss at the end in order for us to recognize our guest speaker, Kellie, today. So, Kellie and I are also producers together on Zandra TV Network, and I have enjoyed interacting with her. We were just talking before we hit record about her journey now being out of the country, and what that looks like. So, she is amazing. I see that she has several opportunities to interact with her audience through LinkedIn. She has a YouTube channel. And so I am going to yield the mic to her. We have her bio here, and we are happy to introduce you to her if that's something that you desire. You can just put it in the chat and we can connect you. And then I'm sure she's going to let you know how to connect with her. But thank you so much for joining us, Kellie. And I'm going to yield the mic to you so that you can share what you want to share with us today. It's going to be, I'm going to leave it completely up to you. So thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone out there who may be watching wherever you are. I am currently in Medellin, Colombia. As Lachelle, Miss America's Supermom, has mentioned, we actually just decided to transition here to Colombia. So we are enjoying ourselves. We actually took the summer to kind of fill out the country, fill out the city before we made our official decision. And we have officially decided that this is going to be our new home. So we got to go through some steps with immigration and all of the things, but we are excited and looking forward to our new journey here in Medellin, Colombia.
Mhm.
Now, today's talk is really going to be about confidence and collaboration. Okay. Now, I am a women's hair loss support and authenticity coach. And I want to kind of tell you what led me there and how I had to basically improve my confidence to even step out and start my online coaching business and all of the things that I do. Now, I know, and these are some of the things that ran through my mind when I first started thinking about creating my online business. The negative thoughts came through my head. First of all, I was never a big social media person. So that was one thing. And on top of that, I'm a woman that is bald. So, that's another thing that has to do with confidence. And we're going to get into that a little bit more. But some of the things that ran through my mind when I first started thinking about creating my online business were some things like I don't want to be on social media all the time. I was the person that I might have posted every blue moon, and it would be like when I'm out on vacation or when we were having some fun events. It was nothing that I posted every single day. I would go weeks at a time without being on social media, and I was quite fine with that. That was also a part of my personality because I'm an introvert. So, I've never just been that person that wanted to be in the forefront and put myself out there. I was always kind of just sit back, chill, and observe. So, not wanting to be on social media, right? That was one. What will people think about me, or what will they say about me if I start talking about whatever this thing is? What if someone is rude or mean to me online? Because we hear about cyberbullying all the time. People online feel like they can get behind that screen, don't have their profile pictures up, and can say whatever they want to say. So those were things that running through my mind as well. Another one, I'm not ready. My product or service isn't good enough. I'm not good enough, those things. People won't take me seriously. Why would people pay attention to me? Like, who am I? Or I don't have time. But these were all things that were really excuses because I was afraid to get out there and put myself in the forefront in front of millions of strangers, right? So, my first online experience as far as coaching was concerned, was really coaching in the real estate space. I began coaching on what we call midterm rentals. So that was my first exposure and experience. I got my coaching, I got my funnel together, I got everything lined up, and I went at it 100%. But the main thing I had to do and overcome was really putting myself out there on social media every single day and creating a YouTube channel. Okay. So those were the first little steps I took to really kind of get me over the hurdle, get me kind of like, okay, I got to just start doing this and I have to be consistent. So let me just start there. And then from there, I grew. All right. So I just kind of want you guys to stop for a moment. And if you have a pen and paper, this would be great because I want you to write down some questions that you may want to ask to yourself if you are that person who is struggling with your confidence. Okay. One question is, why aren't you putting yourself out there? Or why are you doing, or why aren't you doing that one thing that could take your business to the next level? I want you to ask yourself that question and write the answer down, okay? Because as I speak, I want you to really kind of gain something from this and kind of identify really what's holding you back and what you can do to start moving forward, because that's the point of this whole thing. We want to start moving forward, start making progress, and stop letting those small little negative thoughts and things going through our mind hold us back. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, I started off in real estate coaching, but eventually I found something else that was more purposeful for me. And that was supporting women with hair loss due to my own experience. Now, with my experience with hair loss, that was a whole nother journey with confidence, right? There are so many women out there that are experiencing hair loss and what we call alopecia. Alopecia is just the word for hair loss. There are different forms of alopecia that you can have, but it can be caused by genetics. It could be caused by your internal body. Maybe you're not giving yourself enough nutrition. You're maybe taking medications that could be making your hair fall out. Hormones could be doing it. If you're in perimenopause or menopause, your hair could fall out. A lot of different factors cause hair loss in women. And for so long, we have been covering it up. I think over the last several years, and I'm sure since the pandemic, when people really started getting online and really talking and coaching and doing different things, that's when we start seeing more and more women talk about their hair loss. And now it actually has become a whole thing where there are now different conferences and events and all types of things going on that are centered around hair loss in women. So I got into this space because there is there are emotional and mental challenges to having hair loss. Now, I can't speak from a man's perspective, and I know men go through their own challenges, probably with the same types of things. But from a woman's perspective, our hair is tied to our beauty. So when you start losing your hair, it's like you feel like you're no longer beautiful, or it's also tied to your identity because depending on what your hair looks like, you may have someone who has curly hair and that's what they're known for. Hey, that's Kelly with the curly hair, or that's Susie, that's blonde, whatever it may be, hair is an identifier. So when it starts coming out, you're like, you don't know what to do. And it takes you on a roller coaster. The first thing you may experience is like, okay, this is a little bit of denial because I know I went through a lot of denial. Like, okay, I see my hair is coming out a little bit. Let me try to fix it myself. And I went down the journey of trying all of these products and oils and this and that and remedies to try to cure it myself before I even went to a doctor or a dermatologist to see what was really going on. So you go through denial, you can go through frustration, anger, and that comes from when you are buying all these different products and trying to figure out what will work, or even if you have seen a dermatologist and they prescribed you medications to use and treatment plans and that's not working, you become angry and you become frustrated because you're spending your time, your energy, and your money. These things cost a lot of money. And for it not to work, that just makes you spiral back down because all a woman really wants is just to get their hair back, like they just want to be the way they were. Okay. So these emotional and challenges and struggles, they can really take a toll on you. So that's where I come in and I help women get through those emotional challenges, help them figure out what is going on with your hair. Have you seen a doctor? Have you seen a dermatologist? What did they tell you to do? Have you followed your treatment plans? And I really walk with them through this whole process. Now, there are some forms of alopecia where your hair will not come back. Okay. Sometimes, there are forms where your hair will grow back. There are other forms where your hair will not come back. There are some forms also where your hair will grow like normal, and then all of a sudden it just falls out overnight and you'll have all these different patches. So that's a different form of alopecia. So it comes in a lot of varieties. There's also forms of alopecia where you lose hair all over your body. And I'm sure you've seen people who don't have hair at all. So again, it is a struggle, especially when society tells us that hair makes us beautiful. So, what we have to do, even with the hair loss, and it also relates to business, is we have to overcome those challenges. We have to build ourselves up and become confident so that we can step out into the world authentically as who we are and present ourselves, our products, or our services, right?
Mhm.
So, I want you guys to think about, and this is where your pen and paper comes in, and you can write it down. Where will you, or where would you be if you let those negative thoughts overcome you? If you just continue to let those negative thoughts run through your mind, where would you be? And how will others be impacted by your work if you put it out there? So let's say, or if you don't put it out there. So, for example, if you have a service or product and you let these negative thoughts hold you back, how would that impact people that you could help? Right? What you have to offer is important. What you have to offer can help some people out there. And if you keep it to yourself and hold it in, you're not benefiting the world. Okay. So we have to really kind of check our fears and our egos at the door. And we have to take on the persona or personality of the person that we see ourselves to be. Okay. So basically we talk, well, I should, let me step back, I should talk about that identity shift. Okay, so that is an identity shift when you have to go from feeling insecure about something, and then you have to really step into your confidence. That's an identity shift. Okay, you have to know that you are worthy and of having a happy, fulfilling life. You are worthy of having the type of life you want. You are worthy of putting yourself and your products, your services out there to help people, because you will reap the rewards. Now, is it always easy? No, not necessarily. It's not always easy, but with any business or anything that in life, when you're changing, you have to stay consistent. And consistency comes from just doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't. You could make those baby steps, but just do something on a consistent basis. So let me take it back. For example, I mentioned earlier that when I started out, I started by doing a YouTube channel. Now, that was a big thing for me because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be recording videos every week and putting this out there. But I had to do it. I had to get my voice out there some type of way. And YouTube is pretty much free. You can do it yourself for free. So that's just one simple baby step that you can take.
Mhm.
Posting on social media. Now, we all know social media algorithms, they do what they do. I can't tell you how they work. I'm sure there are people out there that specialize in that. But my philosophy is, at least if I'm posting every day, at least once a day, and I know people that will post multiple times a day, but if I'm just posting once a day, that's good for me. That's all I need, because even if someone doesn't see it today, they'll see it later. Or maybe a future customer or client in the future will go and want to check me out, and they see my page and they see all of the content on my page and see everything I'm talking about and can really take me seriously because they see I've been consistent. I've been putting information out there. The information I put out there is accurate. I'm here to help people. They can see all of those things just by looking at my page. So just take those steps. Just come out of your shell and just do something. Now, it doesn't have to be YouTube, it doesn't have to be posting on social media all the time. Whatever it is for you and your business, that's what you need to do. Okay. So I'm just kind of now moving out of just the hair loss conversation more into the business in general conversation. Okay. Now, you have to also know that you will succeed. Now, you may not feel successful now. You may not, you may be going through some struggles or challenging times with your business or something like that. But just know that you're still successful because you still are one step ahead today than you were yesterday. And that's still success. And as we all know, success looks different for everybody. It could be a person who's sick and was in the bed and was able to get up and walk around the house. That's success. Okay. So don't always think of success as this big, elaborate thing. You're making millions of dollars. You're out on yachts and driving luxury cars. That's not everybody's idea of success. So identify what is your idea of success and start embodying that. Okay.
Mhm.
Even if it's something simple as, okay, I'm going to start dressing a little bit cuter, a little bit jazzy. I'm going to put on a little bit of makeup. I'm going to, present myself and my appearance in a different way to make me feel better, to make me feel more like, okay, I'm doing something, and make it maybe even appear that you're doing more than what you are. You're still working towards that goal of the success you want, but you're still on your way. Okay. So you have to step into the world with your new identity and confidence. Okay. So if you are that person who was shy, scared to talk, or don't want to put yourself out there because you are worried about what people will think, well, when you step into that new identity of confidence, you no longer care what people will think. Because one thing I always say is, are you paying my bills? Because if you're not paying my bills, I don't care. You have no say in my life if you're not paying my bills. So those are things that you have to adapt. What is that going to be for you? What is your saying? If you face someone who may be coming at you like, why are you doing that? That's not a good idea, or whatever it may be. You have to say, okay, well, that's your opinion, but this is what I believe. This is my life, and everybody does things differently. Even in the case of hair loss, people of course stare at me. Of course they look at me. But when I was not confident, I took that as, oh my gosh, people think I'm ugly. People think I look like a man. People think this, people think that, because my confidence was not there. But once I just gained that confidence, it was like, no, this is who I am. I'm stepping into this. I'm walking through the world as a bald woman. I'm cutting all of my hair off, and I am walking in this world as a bald woman. My confidence shifted. So when people stare at me or look at me now, I smile, because now I'm like, okay, you can't believe that I am beautiful without hair. And that's usually what it is. And you don't know how many people have walked up to me like, wow, you are so beautiful. Wow, I love that look on you. I could never do that. Oh, you have the head for that, which is a comment I'm like a little wishy-washy on, because I'm like, I think if you had to do something, you would do it. You don't know what you would look like until you do it, right? But people always assume, of course, that they won't look good without hair. That's just what is ingrained in us. But again, back to that confidence. If I hadn't shifted my identity and my confidence, I would still be stuck, insecure, feeling like I am not worthy, feeling like I do not look good, and all of those negative things, when that is far from the truth. So that's another reason why I stepped into the business and the coaching that I'm doing, because I want to make sure other women know that's the same thing. Regardless of your hair loss, you are still beautiful. So let's figure out, what can we do so that you feel confident and you feel beautiful. I'm not here to tell women, hey, cut off your hair, rock a bald head. I'm not here to say that. I'm here to say, you do what makes you feel good. If it's getting that wig, well, let's get a good wig. Let's get a wig that's quality, that's custom made for you. Yes, you may have to spend a little bit of money, but again, as a coach, I know if you have alopecia or some type of hair loss, a lot of times some insurance companies will cover your custom wig, and they call them cranial prosthesis. Okay. So there's ways to get around this. And I'm here to be like, okay, well, let's figure it out. If you want to wear hair wraps, if you want to wear scarves, if you want to cut it off and you're just ready, like, I'm tired of wearing the wigs, I'm tired of cutting it off, I'm ready to shave it off, but I'm scared. I'm here to walk with you. I'm here so that you can hold your head up. So that's what I do for women. Now, I'm sure in many of your businesses, you are there to support and help other people. That's why you started the business.
Mhm.
So think about that. If you weren't there to help the next person, where would you be and where would they be? How would the world be benefited if you weren't there? Okay.
Mhm.
Now, we've talked about stepping into your new identity with confidence and embodying the new you. A lot of that also comes with getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. Okay. So you may have to create some things to help you get through the day. And I'm going to be honest. Some things that I've had to do is just kind of block things out. Sometimes I have to put on blinders to say, okay, I can't worry about whatever's happening outside of me. I got to put on blinders so I can get this done. So I can go here. So I can do this or that. So maybe that's what you have to do. Beyonce has talked about her alter ego. That's what she has to do to step on stage with all that confidence. And people are spending millions of dollars per concert. Her concerts are sold out. But she has told you a long time ago that Sasha Fierce is her alter ego. She is not like that behind closed doors. You may have to do something like that to step out there and put yourself out on social media or on TV or wherever you need to step out on. Okay. You have to stand in your power. We all have power. Okay. Step into it, stand on it, and don't let anybody shake you. Okay. And I know, again, I'm not here to say it's always easy, but I can definitely tell you once you start doing it and you do it on a consistent basis, it becomes second nature. And, that's just it. So, my next question is going to be to you, and write this down if you can. What does the new you look like? When you close your eyes and get quiet and just breathe for a second and visualize what the new you looks like in your business, what are the things you're doing, your lifestyle, what you want to have, what does that look like? And I want you to write that down, okay? Because those are things that we are trying to strive for and we're going to embody and become one baby step at a time, okay? Now, some things that you could do. Let's kind of talk about just the business aspect of whatever you're doing and those small steps that you can take. I talked about YouTube, I talked about social media, but we know people out here are doing podcasts. A lot of people have a podcast. So, taking that baby step of starting a podcast and talking about whatever it is that you are an expert in, but you have to make it weekly. Make it weekly so that you're consistent. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go all year long. You don't. You don't. You can have a season. For example, my podcast was for 6 months. I did weekly shows for 6 months. Sometimes it was just me, myself, and I speaking on a topic. Sometimes I had guests. But the point is, I am sharing information, I'm showing my expertise, and other people are learning and growing from what I'm putting out there. And not only that, that also brings collaborations. It also shows that to people who may be like brands or sponsors or other, people industry or people in the industry or your industry, that you are a person to be taken seriously. Okay, you're about your business because they see you showing up on a consistent basis. We talked again about the social media. Post as many times as you want to, but I would say at least daily. Okay. It doesn't have to always be you in front of a camera dancing or doing something crazy. You don't have to do that. I can tell you, I take clips from my podcast and I take 3 clips from my podcast every single week and post that on my social media. And that's my only post for the day. Okay. So that means I only have 4 more posts to put out there. And one of those posts may be promoting my TV show. One of those posts may be promoting a beauty pageant I'm in. Another one may be something more personal, showing me and my family out having fun, our new life here in Colombia. One of them is inspirational. Boom, I'm done for the week. And I keep that same pattern. I don't have to really change it. If you have a certain format that you like as far as what you're posting or the type of content you're posting, keep it going every single week. It's no problem as long as you're doing something, okay? My YouTube channel, I talked about doing it weekly, okay? Now, a caveat, okay? My podcast is my YouTube video, okay? So I take my podcast, I put it on YouTube. It's also in audio form on Spotify, Apple, all of those things. So that's one piece of content that is distributed in so many different ways, and it helps me out. Because before I started my podcast, I became burned out. I was so busy trying to figure out what kind of reel am I gonna create? What am I gonna post? Like it became draining. But once I learned how to take one piece of content and distribute it out in different ways, that made my life so much easier. So that's something you could potentially do. Okay. Networking, ongoing networking. And you don't have to go out of your house to do this. We know you could go on any social media platform, LinkedIn, respond to comments on YouTube, respond to comments on Instagram, any of that. That's all still networking because when you're doing it on a consistent basis, people get familiar, especially those people who own those pages. If they see you posting on their pages and responding and interacting on a regular basis, they get to know who you are. And that's how relationships are formed as well. Okay. So now let's get into ways to gain confidence through support that lead to more collaboration. We talked just a little bit about that. Some other things you could do to start gaining or meeting people that you could potentially collaborate with is joining support and networking groups. Now, this is old. Networking groups have been around, but now we have so many groups online. You could go online, you could go in person, you could go and find a networking or support group. Now, support groups, don't think of it as, oh, woe is me and I need support. No, you could be a business group that you're a part of that, you guys just get together and talk about whatever's happening. It could be a co-working event where you guys say, you know what? Once a month, on a certain day, we're going to sit down and we are going to take 2 hours and just get online on Zoom and we're going to just sit and work. Now, we're not talking to each other per se, but music can be playing in the background. We can be, do our own thing, but we're just still online together working on our individual tasks and businesses. Okay. So, stuff like that. That's still support because that is helping you be accountable. You're showing up, you're sitting down and focusing and zoning in on tasks and getting things done within a certain amount of time. Okay. Facebook groups. There are so many Facebook groups out there that are around all different types of topics. You can find anything, I'm sure, that you want in a Facebook group. We also have school groups. You have all types of groups on different social media platforms. We have LinkedIn events. Now, if you're not on LinkedIn, and again, I wasn't a person who was always on LinkedIn. I thought originally LinkedIn was just for people who were looking for jobs and, things like that. But as a business owner, I've learned that LinkedIn is a good way to really show your expertise and interact with people. So, for example, my podcast is also on LinkedIn as a live event every single week. And I also participate in other people's live events on LinkedIn. So when I say participate, I mean I join and listen to their live events. I'm asking questions or I might make a comment. That is how people get to know you because there are other people in the audience on those live events. So they can hear you and see hear what you're asking, hear who you are, and learn different things about you. And they'll go visit your profile and learn more about you and start making connections that way. I've made a ton of connections just attending LinkedIn events and participating. But out of all of the things I've said, and this is not everything, but still, the number one thing is that you have to participate. Okay? You can show up, but participating is what's going to make you stand out and people notice who you are. All right? Now, attending events that are related to your interest or your niche for your business. Okay. Now, I'm going to speak from the hair loss perspective just because that's my niche. Right now, there are so many different types of events where you can meet new people and build those relationships to collaborate. They have retreats for women that are bald, fashion shows, conferences. There's one big conference that's coming up in September called BaldyCon in Atlanta. This is a huge conference full of women who are bald, and it's the purpose is to uplift them, making sure that they have the confidence they need, which really all of the women do have confidence in this convention, or excuse me, this conference, and having a good time together, fellowship, community. That's what it's about. And that has been happening for a few years. It's huge. They have beauty pageants. I'm actually in a beauty pageant in Dallas, Texas in August for bald women. Okay. These things didn't exist, I would say, not even 5 years ago, but they're here now. Okay. And through these things, I'm able to meet other women who have hair loss, who may need support or may not need support, but they may have the confidence they already need, because obviously when you cut your hair off, you got to have some confidence, especially if you've been rocking a bald head for a while. So they've already come on the other side of that. But still, it's a good way for me to say, hey, you want to be on my podcast and talk about your journey? Or, hey, sis, I know you experience hair loss too, and you've created a business based off of that, just like I have. You may be a life coach. You may be a what is someone I just met. I'm trying to think of the name she uses, but basically what she does is she's a stylist, or she helps you improve your appearance. You know what I mean? Maybe just with your clothes, accessories, or whatever as a bald woman. So like there are so many people who have created businesses and products and services around hair loss. Okay, and you're able to work together. Other things like written collaborations. There's magazines out there. There are books. People collaborate on books, blogs, all kind of things. Volunteering with advocacy groups. Okay, that's another way to meet new people. I am a hair loss support. Well, I shouldn't say hair loss support. I'm sorry. I am a coach and a support leader for the CCCA group for the Scarring Alopecia Foundation. CCCA is just a form of scarring alopecia. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of different forms of alopecia. A lot of Black women experience CCCA, and that's an acronym, okay? That's the type of form of hair loss that we tend to have. Now, we do get other types of hair loss, but a lot of times when you hear CCCA, that's a Black woman who has that, okay? Mm-hmm. So just getting involved in organizations, nonprofit organizations, and being an advocate and sharing through the Scarring Alopecia Foundation, I was able to speak at their conference, okay, which leads to other opportunities. Online summits is another one. There are a lot of people doing online summits where it doesn't cost you a thing. All you have to do is show up and present yourself, present your topic, or talk about whatever topic they want you to talk about, and that's pretty much it. But with an online summit, usually there are other people who are talking. So let's just say at least maybe 20 people who are going to be speaking on this online platform. Well, then you now have access to 20 people in a particular industry that you could potentially collaborate with. So I just gave you quite a few examples of how you can start getting in out there and meeting new people so that you can find these collaborations or people you can collaborate with. So how do we collaborate? Okay. One way you can do it is if you see a Facebook group that you may be a part of and you like what the group is doing and it's around whatever your niche is, reach out to the admin. Because that admin is a person who started the group because they support a cause that is very similar to yours. That's why the group is there. Reach out to the admin, talk to them, see how you could collaborate with each other, find out what they're doing, talk to them about what you're doing, and see how you could work together. YouTube, people put their email addresses, their website, all of their contact information in the description of their YouTube channels, or it may be in the bio. Reach out to them, get to know them, connect with them, set up a meeting, see how you can collaborate. Maybe you could be on their YouTube channel. You never know. Build relationships with people that you meet just in general at meetings, which is old. We already know that. We talked about actively participating in events. We talked about the online summits and participating and networking with those people. Or what about hosting your own online summit? Okay, that's a good way for you to also tap into other people's audiences, because those 20 people you have on your summit as guests, they also invite people in their audiences to watch the summit or attend the summit. And that means you now have access to all of their people. So think about that. And I also talked about the online co working sessions that you can set up yourself. I've attended one myself and it was awesome, actually. Just being able to sit down with other women who are focused on their business, not necessarily talking and kikiing it up, but really sitting down, focusing and working and getting tasks done and enjoying the experience. That is a good way to meet new people and build those relationships. So I'm going to kind of wrap this up with a few more questions, because these are things that I want you to take action on. So again, if you have your pen and paper, maybe write it down, or you can replay this live if you didn't catch it all, okay? So your next steps. What can you do to start getting comfortable with doing that one thing that is holding you back? What action are you going to take? Okay? Number 2, I want you to set a date for when you will take that first action or take that first step towards being comfortable. So set a date. If you are saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to do a online summit. All right. Well, there's steps to that. What's your first step? Go find out how to do an online summit or talk to someone. That's step number 1. Well, let's set a date to that. I'm going to make sure I speak to someone or find out and learn more about how to set up an online summit by next Friday. Put a date to it. Hold yourself accountable. Okay. Which brings me to my next point. How will you be accountable for making sure you complete the first step and remain consistent and continue to move forward? What is your plan? Okay, because you have to make a commitment to yourself. This is your business, this is your baby. You are creating this, you are building this. So you start, you have to keep going one step at a time. And I know life happens, because hey, my life is totally hectic right now. But at the same time, I still have to be consistent, and I know when I need to stop certain things. So when I needed to end my podcast for the season, I said, okay, you know what? I know what's going to be happening in the next month or two. So let me go ahead and wrap up my season of my podcast, so that gives me the room and space to focus on this other thing that I need to focus on in my life. Okay. It's totally okay to do that. You don't have to do things all the time, all year round. You can do it for a period of time, wrap it up, and then you move it on to your next. But the point is to stay consistent in your same topic. You know, it may be just a different project. You wrap up your podcast. Now I'm going to move into my TV show. You know, so once I wrap up my TV show, then I'm going to move into marketing my show. So it's different steps and different things I have to do. And I need the time and space to do that. So make sure you honor yourself. Know what you can and cannot do. Be realistic, because what you don't want to do is go too far, make your goals too high where you can't even obtain them. Make it realistic. Take the little small steps you need to take and take the action on a consistent basis. So that's what I have for you guys today around confidence and collaboration.
Love that. I mean, there were so many points that you brought up that I'm thinking we could have several classes on a lot of that content. I love the part about the repurposing, scheduling your day,
Mhm.
and just the mindset journey that many of us need to go through when it comes to being in denial about things, not really having that awareness around some of the things that we can change. The victimhood, right? I think that was my case. I was a victim. Everything was happening to me, and it wasn't my fault. It was always somebody else's fault, which left me not empowered to change my situation, because when we're blaming other people or things, then we don't have the power to change it because we're not seeing the power that we have. So And then the important point of around, we all have a message, and there's an audience out there that could use the message that we have. And I'm kind of paraphrasing. I was over here taking notes, girl. But I think that it's really important for us to really kind of go back and think about some of the things that you shared, because it is a journey, right? And we do have to take those small steps. We can't do it all tomorrow, right? I tell people all the time, I can't say I want to have a baby and then have the baby tomorrow. It has to go through the process, maturing
Yeah.
before the baby can even survive outside the womb. So I love the things that you were sharing. So we have Rebecca who has joined us. So, Rebecca, did you have any questions for Kellie before we wrap up today? She's in Nigeria.
Oh,
So,
okay. Hi,
mhm.
Rebecca.
Hi, I'm so sorry.
Not a problem. I see you were bouncing in and out, so you gotta love technology with the internet and stuff. But I just wanted to give you the opportunity to ask any questions or make any comments around anything that you might have heard. And it seems like she's still having
Yeah,
challenges.
it looks like your internet, yeah, maybe not
Uh-huh. So
stable.
I gotta love internet.
Of course.
Uh-huh. But I do want to give you the opportunity to share any final thoughts. I think that any of you that might be watching, if you have any questions, any comments around any of the things, please put it in the chat. Again, she talked about repurposing content, connecting with Facebook groups, time management, any of those topics. She has a YouTube channel and she has been coaching around that. She also mentioned real estate, right? I mean, there's a whole gamut of different things that may be of interest to you. And one of the things that we're intentional about within our community is making those connections. You don't have to start at ground zero. If you just open up your mouth and ask for help. So if you need some help in those areas, we have resources. Not everything is paid. We could have checklists and different things that might get you started so that you can keep moving towards the goals that you are aspiring to accomplish. So we just want to thank you guys for joining. And then if you have any of those questions, just put them in the chat on YouTube and we'll be sure to outline those and get them back to you. But I do want to give you the opportunity, Kellie. Want to first say thank you so much for speaking to our group today, because it's good to hear that message, even if we've heard it 50 times. Sometimes hearing it from somebody else is like, oh my gosh, I never heard it before. I go through that with my kids. I'm telling them something, they don't hear it. My husband says the same thing, and it's like, do you know what daddy said? And I'm like, now haven't I not been saying that the whole time? So please share any final thoughts that you have.
Well, I would say that honestly, entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the faint-hearted. And I know that, a lot of times when we go out and we're looking on social media and different platforms, a lot of people make it seem like, oh, it's just the glorious life and it's just that easy. But entrepreneurship is a faith walk. And you have to have a lot of faith because there are going to be some times where you don't know what's going to happen. You could try out something, you don't know if it's going to work or not. You spent money on something, you don't know if you're going to get that money back or not. So understand that even though it's a faith walk, you have to stay the course. If it's something that you're truly passionate about, is something you truly want, you will get there. Okay. It may not happen overnight. It's rare when someone blows up overnight and they just have all this success immediately. But then also a lot of times when you see those people, that success doesn't last that long, or they're not happy, or something else is going on that is preventing them from living their best life. So I can tell you if entrepreneurship, if you feel like it's for you and you are doing it, you may be having some challenges, but you will also have some great, great blessings and opportunities that come from it that will just make your day and make you forget about those challenges. So keep going, keep moving forward, have that faith, and also have a support system around you, because sometimes you need people to talk to. Whatever that support system looks like, get it. Okay. So you can at least vent sometimes. Those days when you just want to cry, you can call somebody and cry. And then those days when you want to celebrate, somebody will be there to go get drinks with you. Okay.
I love that. And I tell you, I have learned so much with the power of collaboration.
Mhm.
Because I was the person that believed, oh my gosh, if I got to do it, it's up to me. And it led to overwhelm, burnout, just resentment for the things that I was doing, because I had to do it, all these different things. And when I learned to collaborate, it just really helped me have a flow and a peace when it comes to uh you know getting ready every day to approach how I'm going to show up within my business and brand. So I appreciate you sharing that. And it is a faith journey. I think a lot of times people see where we are now, and they are not aware of the story that led us there, right? They
Mhm.
don't know how we started and what's going on behind the scenes. So I love that you brought that up, because you're not alone. And when we get that support system, we find out that, oh my gosh, I'm not an island. This isn't unique. Other people are dealing with the same thing, because it helps you to really be stronger. So thank you so much for those nuggets and inspirational words. So
You're welcome.
it- we're so glad that you were able to join us. And we want to thank you that are out there watching. Again, if you want to be connected to Kellie, reach out to her. Kellie, I'm going to let them, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Well, you can visit my website is limitlessmindsetcoaching.com. If you are a woman experiencing hair loss, you can always book a call with me through my website. That's the best way you can reach me. You can also find me on my YouTube channel and all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, under Miss Kellie Michelle. Okay.
Awesome. And then when is your pageant?
So the pageant is August 16th in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
I'm getting ready for that now. I just packed all my clothes up. I'm waiting on my dress.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah, so
yeah, keep us in the loop about that, because you never know. You might have some sponsors, people that want to support you on that journey. So please keep us posted about that, because we would love to do what we can, keeping you at least at a minimum lifted up in prayer, because that's just an amazing thing. So thank you guys so much for watching us today. We want to invite you to come and connect with our community again in the future. We definitely enjoy being able to collaborate and get with different business owners from all different industries in order to help us all grow and be a better version of ourselves. So we want to thank you all